Good morning students. Today we are going to study about a new lesson, that is chapter number 9, more on email. My dear students, as you already know that before we were having a medium to communicate with each other. Either we communicate with the help of letters that was carried to the other person living in different parts of the world with the uh, postman, right? But now, since you know that we are now, nothing is possible in our life without computer. We are reluctantly dependent on the computer for everything, right? Whether we have to interact, whether it is we have to send the messages or we have to store data or information, we solely depend on computer, and it is a better means of communication, right, which saves our time and also at a reasonable cost. So when we talk of the topic more on email, right, when I see the word email, first of all, my dear students, you should be aware that this word stands for electronic mail, right, and this is not possible without computer. So when it stands for electronic mail, and what is electronic mail? It is a way to send message from one person to another person with the help of computer. That is the most important thing. We are sending messages, but it is with the help of computer. That is why the word tells it is electronic mail, right? So email is a way of sending messages and even the data to the people by means of a computer that is connected to other computers, again with the help of internet. Right? We cannot use this service without internet. And not only the message, we can only also share our data, like, or our video, audio, pictures, photos, right, images. All this can be done with the help of this electronic mail at a faster rate, sitting at one place and within few seconds, right? So this is the main thing that we are going to learn in this chapter. Now, you might be, so it is one of the fastest and easiest way of receiving and sending messages. It is a cost-effective mode of communication. Now, you might be wondering that how we can send this mail, right? Like earlier, if we compare that when we were posting letters from one end to the another end, we need to mention the receiver's address and we need to mention our address, right? That we are sending that message or that letter to the other person. So for electronic mail, that what is important thing that we should be having is that the email address. Without this, we cannot utilize this service, right? So you might be wondering that how we can create an email ID with the help of which we can send this mail from from one person to the another. So to send and receive an email, we require an email account and the address of receiver, right? That is very, very important. That there should be an address of receiver and you should yourself be having email account. That means there should be your email ID and there should be the email ID of the receiver. Now, how we can create or how we can just identify how is going to be the email address be like. For example, I'll just give you an example. For example, I can use any name, right? Or if I'm writing friends, application, then there is a symbol at the rate. The symbol is called as at the rate. And then the domain name, right? Domain name, that means whose service we are using, whether we are using Google or whether we are using Yahoo. So if I am using Gmail, so I write gmail.com. So this is friends publication is the username, right? So this username is different different for different persons. No two persons can have the same email ID on one name, right? Okay. So this username, we have a username. Then there should be symbol that is @ and then the domain name. This is a domain name, right? Whether it can be Yahoo or it can be Google. Okay, so it can be any. For example, if I take a reference of any one of you, for example, if Ujjwal wants to create an email ID, so it would be ujjwal123@yahoo.com. This is also correct. So again here Ujjwal123 is a username. This is @ symbol and this is the domain name. So this is how we can create you can create or register yourself with the help of this email ID. Now let us talk of creating an email account. What are the steps for creating an email account, right? Because you have learned that how your ID would look like, but if you don't know how to create an email ID, then how you would be able to send a mail. So let us learn what are the steps for creating an email account. That is very, very important, with the help of which you can create your email ID on any of the domain name. Now, just the first step is connect to the internet. I have already told you, my dear students, that I cannot send any of the mail without this internet connection. Okay, so you should be able to connect yourself to the internet, then only you would be able to create your email ID or you would be able to send your mail from one person to the another. Then step same here. After that, if you are connected to the internet, open a web browser, right? So this web browser could be any, it could be Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox or Bing, any whichever is available, easily available in your computer system, right? Then if suppose you are creating your account on Yahoo, right? So you would be opening Ymail, right? You would be typing www.ymail.com, right? You would be typing this in the address bar and then you would be pressing the enter key. So finally you would be taken to a page with this, that is Yahoo Mail, and you will get a screen like this. In that it would be written user ID and password. Then let me tell you that there are two things. Once you go to this page, right, since you are creating a new account, okay, so it would be written sign in or sign up, right? So sign up means that you are creating a new email account. Sign in is for those persons which have already created their account, but since you are a new user, so you will go to sign up option, where you would be typing any of the user ID which you want or username. Suppose I have already given the example ujjwal123@yahoo.com, and you can have a password that should be case sensitive, of course. So that you should have a password that is not feasible or easily accessible by the other people. Any password you can keep, either your name or anything, but your password should be so that the other persons are not easily able to guess your password. Okay, so after this we have taught, after that you will be going to create an email account button. You will click on create an email account button. Is that clear? So step number 1, please remember, it is you have to connect to the internet, then you have to open any of the web browser, then you have to type either www.ymail.com or gmail.com on the address bar. And third thing, the moment you have thought of your user ID and password, you have to go to a button. There would be create an, at the bottom of this window you would be able to see that there would be a button, create an email account button. Then after that, step number 4 is, after that you have to choose or you have to type the desired account name of your choice in your ID box and the email box, and there is an availability check button. Okay, that suppose if you have thought of the name ujjwal123 at gmail.com, right? If you are thinking of this name, so there would be availability check button whether this username already exists for another person. If it is the same name is existing for the another person, the computer will ask you to change your user ID. Is that clear? So these 4 steps at least you should learn. This is not complete. Let us move to the check for availability button. Then after that, if this user ID or password can be any, that can be same because it is differently chosen by different person. But username, it would be one for one user. Okay. So after you have checked for the availability, you will go on create my account button and click on continue, and you would be taken to your email account. Right? Is that clear? So let me repeat once again. You should be connected to the internet. Then you have to type Ymail or Gmail on the address bar. Then third step is you have to create an email account button. Then you have to check for the availability of username and password. If it is valid and if it is only your, it is shared by only one person, then it will ask you to continue and you would be taken to your new page of the email account. So this is how you can create your email ID, and with the help of which you can easily convey your messages, your photos or other documents, data and information from one person to the another. Even you can send invite, birthday invites, invitation cards with the help of the email within few seconds. So my dear students, you should be revising this topic, that what is electronic. So the homework here basically you have to read the pages done, and you will practice how to create email account. Okay, on your computer systems, right? You can practice the same at home. If you already have a system at the home, you have to do this. Okay, see you in the next class. Thank you, my dear students.